Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we will have a mock interview discussion where we can discuss both technical and behavioral stuff. So feel free to shoot me your questions. Whatever you are able to, you are not able to answer in the interviews, or whatever you come across with the recruiters, or whatever technical problem you have, or whatever point that you are unable to understand in your resume, anything you can discuss in this mock interview.
Sir, there is one question I came across. Like, if the recruiter asks, do you want to be incorporated? So, how to answer that?
So is your marketing already started, or
No, sir, I was going through my marketing checklist. So, there was this question
okay?
how to answer, like, if you
Yeah,
want to be incorporated or not.
we discussed this in many mock interview sessions, but I'll repeat it again. Are you incorporated means you should say always yes, I'm incorporated, because for full time there is no need of a corporation. But if it is a contract role, then the contract is always between corporation and corporation. So client is the end corporation, and they also expect you to have your own corporation, or they expect you to be part of an existing corporation. So if they ask you, are you incorporated? You can say, yes, I am incorporated. And if they ask you, how can you be incorporated because you are on an open work permit? Because people in the closed work permit or open work permit status, they will not be able to open incorporation. So then you have to say that you are added in your friend's corporation who is a PR. Or a citizens or a citizen, PR or a citizen. You can say whatever you can say in that flow. Okay, if they ask you what is the name of your corporation, then you can say them some random name, some XYZ corp. Nobody is going to check what corp it is. Nobody is going to check whether you are really added to the corporation or not. They just wanted to ensure that you have the corporation ready so that they can proceed forward with the interview process of contract role. Because after the contract interview is done, and if they release the offer, then if you say, I don't have a corporation, opening a corporation, opening a bank account and all will take a lot of time, which is why all the recruiters want to ensure that you got the corporation formalities done well ahead before even the interview process kickstarts. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next. Yeah, Sagar, you're asking something?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. On the resume, like cloud formation is written, but we haven't got much, in the training phase about cloud formation. So, like, what questions or what knowledge we need as per if the interviewer asks during the interview process?
In the training, we generally cover only Terraform, because Terraform is the widely used infrastructure automation tool. But if the DevOps engineer uses AWS or Azure, then through self-learning, you have to study CloudFormation templates and or ARM templates. If it is an Azure, then ARM templates. If it is AWS, then CloudFormation templates. So that has to go through self-learning.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that is not powered as a part of training, because it is very difficult to cover each and every tool or technology in one single training. So whatever are the frequently used tools, which is Terraform is a must. You should know, no questions asked. But if it is CloudFormation, very few companies use CloudFormation. So that you have to spend a couple of days and you'll be able to learn very easily.
Yeah. And sir, one more thing regarding Terraform. Sir, we learn about basic Terraform, data sources, modules, functions, and workspaces. Sir, anything else missing? I'm not sure, because
there is nothing else missing. Terraform is only those things.
Okay, sir.
Terraform
Thank you.
is very simple, but you need a lot of practice. That is
Yes, sir. Sir, it's simple, but there are some complexities as well.
Yeah.
As you know, as the building, if we build the infrastructure through the code, it will be a little bit complex.
Yeah.
And sir, like there are other things, Prometheus, I forgot. Datadog, I know about it. I'm using. So like, do we need, sir, more monitoring tool information, or like the way I currently use, or that is sufficient? Like Datadog, New Relic, Isinga.
Yeah, I mean, there are in the market 15 plus monitoring tools, but the majority of the companies use either Datadog or New Relic. Those are cloud agnostic tools, but there are also cloud native tools like AWS CloudWatch and Azure Monitor or the Azure Application Insights.
Yeah,
So,
sir, I have seen Isinga is also using Isinga.
no. That's not
Okay.
used by many companies.
Okay, sir.
80% of the companies use cloud Datadog or New Relic.
Okay, sir. So that's all I have, sir. Nothing
Yeah.
else. Thank you.
Yeah, Atul, you're asking something?
Yes, sir, I have a question from the pre-marketing checklist.
Mhm.
So when the recruiter is asking why you're leaving the previous company and we are saying my contract is ending, what if he asks like why didn't your company consider you for a full time, or why didn't you take another project there in the previous company? How do we answer that question?
They won't ask that question because it is quite normal when somebody takes you for a contract role, and if that contract comes to an end, it generally comes to an end if there is no more budget or if the assigned project is done.
Okay.
Till date, I haven't come across anybody asking this question.
But they generally take in like from contract in some companies, they directly take in as full time, right, over the years.
Not everyone.
So,
It is very rare scenario.
okay.
Yeah, it is very rare scenario. But if we say contract is coming to an end, then nobody will cross-examine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, what if a recruiter asks, are you looking for a long-term contract or a short-term contract?
Yeah, you can say that you are good for both. You are flexible. You can say, like, if you say long term, okay, but if the recruiter called for a short term, then that is gone.
Yeah.
If you say short term, but if the recruiter comes to you with a long term contract, that is also gone. So that's why we have to be very diplomatic. We have to say, I'm okay with either long term or short term. I don't have any specific preference. Either one is fine as long as it is a contract.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we do hands-on practice, like with the tools and like step by step, we don't come across any errors because we are following the steps like with the videos. But when the recruiter asks us like, what difficulties did you face while performing tasks in your current project, or any errors you solved, so what answer should we give?
It is quite normal to, get errors. So it is highly, if you are not getting any errors, then you are not learning anything. You learn only when you get errors. So the answer they wanted to know is, if you come across any errors in your job, what is the approach you would like to take? That is the answer they wanted to hear from you. So you have to say, if there is an error, then I will try to Google about the source of that error. What can be the main reason for that error from Stack Overflow or from Google. Many of the developers use Stack Overflow. That is the de facto tool to debug the error messages or from the social community. The other thing you can say is that you generally take even after doing all the trials on Google, trying to figure out what is the error, and still if that error is not yet resolved, then you have to say you will seek the help of your senior.
Yes, sir. That I totally follow, sir. But my question is like, if they ask particularly for an error, like what kind of errors did you face? So what should we answer? Because we follow the hands-on, steps like with the videos, and we don't actually come across any errors. But in the real life projects, there should be some like errors or bugs. So what answer at that time we should give?
That's what, see, if you are not getting any errors till date, then you are not learning. You're not doing your training or your self-learning properly. It is highly impossible that a person can learn this stuff without any errors. Then you are a superwoman.
No, no.
Or you can do, let's say you are not getting any errors while you are learning
Yeah.
by God's grace. Then what you can do is, you are a Azure cloud engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can say that, you can go to Google and you can type standard error messages in Azure.
Okay, sir.
You will get a whole list of 20, 30 error messages in Google.
Okay, sir.
So you study about them. When will this error come? When will that error come? Then you will get an idea.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Next.
Sir, I have one more question regarding pipeline. So, sir, I have seen, AWS pipeline like code commit, code build, code deploy. So I've seen, some jobs like, I was doing, some farming, and I've seen some companies, they are, referring that in comparison with Jenkins. And I think there is one more CI something. I forgot. I forgot. There is another name.
Circle.
So they're using, I forgot, there's a drone CI, something like that. Drone CI. There is another similar like, sorry?
Circle CI.
Yeah, maybe Circle, sir. It's top of my head. I don't know. But yeah, so I've seen, some jobs, they refer focus on that. So let's say, sir, if I attend for one of the interview, I know about Jenkins, but they are more interested in, code, AWS pipeline. So what answer or what should I approach in
Learning.
that?
Learning it. See, the reason why Jenkins is taught as a part of your DevOps training is because Jenkins is the de facto standard for CI/CD. 90% of the companies use Jenkins, but there will be some companies which use other tools. But when you learn Jenkins, you will automatically be able to map those learnings for other tools. All the other tools will be similar. For example, Azure DevOps is another tool like Jenkins. Circle CI is another tool like Jenkins. GitLab CI is also a CI tool like Jenkins. There are also like, there is one more, what is it? I forgot the name. Yeah, in AWS native, there is AWS code pipeline. And for build integration and Git integration, it is AWS code build. And for source code control, then we have code commit. So AWS has its own set of services. But if you learn Jenkins, you will be able to easily learn those tools in one day. So that's why we don't specifically teach them.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. So let's say, okay, I have almost 1 year of experience in this resume, right? Like internship experience. So if the recruiter asks me, what's your salary expectations and stuff, how do I answer for that?
Yeah, your TLs will tell you what is the salary you have to quote.
Okay.
For each role and for each level of experience, we have specific figure mentioned in our database.
Okay.
What salary you have to quote, you have to ask your TL.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Sir, one more thing, I'm not sure, sir. Being a DevOps, do we do any kind of automation of patching, like patching of, like in a stack or maybe in form of, tags, maybe assigned, like through automation? I'm not taking, going into the server and check those things. Maybe a patch is released and maybe do the deployment.
I have created a pipeline for patch automation. So
yeah, patch baseline.
Ansible and Jenkins. I have used Jenkins for orchestration and Ansible for infra updates. So I have created an Ansible playbook. So that Ansible playbook will connect to the Linux servers, all the, if there are 100 or 200, it will connect to all the 100, 200 servers, and it will run that playbook on that virtual machine. Okay, so that will automatically fetch the latest patches from either App Galaxy, or from, if there is any repository of the patches, that will connect there and get it, or generally they are not connected to outside world. So you should not say they will connect to the patch servers and download it, but every company will have a lot of servers maintained internally, which contains only the patches, libraries, and everything. So these automation tools will connect to the internal server and get the latest patches and apply those patches to the servers. So all this, again, as I told you, there is a job created in Jenkins, which will connect to those servers and execute those through Ansible. Ansible is the infra automation technology, and Jenkins is the orchestration.
Okay,
This
sir.
is for Linux, but if it is for Windows, the correct combination would be through Azure DSC and PowerShell.
Sir, how about AWS? In AWS,
Has
CA?
nothing to do with the cloud. Patching is
Okay.
on the virtual machines, right? It can be either a Linux virtual machine or Windows virtual machine. Those are the only two possibilities. So if it is Linux, then the correct stack is Jenkins and Ansible, or Azure DevOps and Ansible. But if it is Windows, then Ansible is not that much of a good technology for Windows, but it still works. But the preferred technology is always Azure DSC. Azure DSC is a very powerful and very beautiful technology which can automate the patches for Windows operating systems.
Okay, sir.
So you will use Azure DSC combined by PowerShell DSC, written and use Azure DevOps as an orchestrator.
Okay.
Sir, in an interview, if the recruiter asks like on what projects you have worked and what tools you have used, so can you give any some specific and short answer like what to tell him in this question?
That is mentioned in your resume. Generally,
Okay.
I'm not sure if your resume is prepared or not.
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. So in your resume, under each company, we put some 6 or 7 bullet points. So that bullet points will specifically talk about what you have done in that organization. Remember,
Okay.
interviewers don't ask about the end-to-end project. Okay, they never ask, because project details are always confidential. Okay, you can expect whatever are the concepts that you have implemented. For example, I can say, oh, I have automated the patch implementation. I have automated, I created a pipeline to automate the patch updates for Linux virtual machines in my organization. Right, so that is how you can get, but they don't ask you which project you have worked on. Did you work on any banking project? What is that banking project? What does it do? They don't ask all those things. You can say, like, for example, if your core responsibility is only administration of the cloud infrastructure, then obviously there won't be any project. Any project, if they are using any infrastructure, they will approach you. Oh, my system is down. Can you please look at it? Oh, my new project is started. I need a couple of app services that need to be created. Can you please help me create it? So those are the tickets that get assigned to you. Our resumes are always written in roles and responsibilities way and not in a project way. Okay, so you have to remember that. And nobody will ask you about what project you have done. They will ask you about, even if they ask you what project you have done, you can tell the same way. Like, my role in that company is administering the Azure infrastructure. So typically, whatever the project teams want me to do it, they generally create a ticket for me, and I work on the ticket and close the ticket. Next.
Sir, in my resume, like it is mentioned like 1 year experience in India, from India, and like 2+ years in Canada. But in summary, it's mentioned like I have a total experience of 2+ years. So are we considering only Canadian experience or Indian experience
Can you
also?
share your resume and show me?
Yes, sir. So here it is like about 2+ years of experience. But like in Canada, it's from Jan 2021 till date. And from India, it's
And
December.
2021, 22, so it is 2 years.
Yeah, and in India, it's December 2017 to December 2018.
Yeah, the reason here is very simple. Here we are putting only relevant experience. System administration is not a relevant experience because your profile is cloud engineer.
Okay.
So the relevant experience is 2.5 years.
Okay, sir.
That is why we have put 2.5 years of experience.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
And what company are we showing?
Oh, sorry. This time.
No, that's okay. Need not share it. Is it NCPL?
No, sir. Intact Canada.
Intact. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the reason. But
Okay,
we can
sir.
also write. You can also write an additional point like I have 2+ years of Azure cloud engineering experience and also 1 year of system administrator. But the problem happens is that makes it as 3 years of experience. The expectations on you will increase.
Got it, sir. Got it.
I just wanted to generally between 2 and 3 is the right experience to show to get decent salary and also to get less number of questions and more number of calls. But
Okay,
this above 3 or above 4, then they will always consider you as a senior.
okay, sir.
So
Okay.
then the expectations will drastically increase and you will not be able to clear all the interviews.
Got it, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is there any effect on the salary level, like salary scale cause of recession? Or it's the same?
Yeah, there will be, because starting salary, I mean, the difference is not that much.
Okay.
For a junior generally gets about somewhere in between 70 and 90. An
Okay.
intermediate person will get somewhere in between 80 and 90. A senior person will get above 90. That is the only difference.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So for all the people yesterday, Rosalind got the offer. She got 90K.
Oh,
Once we
okay.
got the offer, she got 90K. And Aman got the offer, he got 100K. And what is that? Another guy got the offer, I forgot his name. Chandra got offer, he got 90K.
Yes, sir.
People
Yes.
are getting on the north side, which is good. But the difference between a junior person and an intermediate person is just 5 to 10,000. That's
Okay,
why
sir.
we don't risk people getting too many questions just for 5 or 10,000.
Definitely, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Next.
Sir, I have one question. Like on LinkedIn, many recruiters, like from different companies, they keep on contacting and sharing your resume and all. So should we share our resume with them? Because I think what they do is they want to schedule a call and talk about the openings they have. So how can we share our resume with them or not?
Yeah. So whenever you get any such message, you have to immediately post it in the marketing group. Then the team lead will guide you what to do.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. How many did you get till date?
Sir, I did not respond. It's not from the company actually, but I think
It
they
can
are
be
just
from
the
recruiters.
individuals. Yeah, so I will share them on the group today. I think it was around 2 I got. So they were interested in setting up a call and talking about the position.
Okay. Okay, fine. Next.
Sir, I have one more question. Sir, what's the difference between DevOps versus DevOps developer?
Good.
So there is one DevOps. engineer and one is DevOps developer. Because yesterday one of the recruiter reached me and he gave me, insights about one of the position, which is DevOps developer. So I thought it's a DevOps engineer, but I would say the role is different, same. But no, when I look at the position, it's there are a lot of things which is different. So as
Yeah.
per company standard in a real world, what's the difference between being a DevOps engineer versus a DevOps developer?
Okay, I'll explain. What is the English definition of an engineer?
Sir, engineer who who deals with systems, yeah, like whether it's computer or sir, engineer who holds a degree in engineering and specifically like has done masters or specialization in his field.
No, see, engineer means somebody who identifies the problem, okay, or who gets a problem and who designs a solution for that problem and who implements that solution for that problem and who verifies that solution if that is implemented correct or not, and then who delivers the solution to the problem. This is what a typical engineer does. If it is a software engineer, then he solves software problems, he does software design, he does software coding, and then he does software testing, and then he does software delivery. If it is a chemical engineer, then he gets chemical problems, he creates some design for those problems, and then he implements that solution, and then he verifies that, and so on. So the concept of engineering is problem, design, solution, validate solution, and then deliver solution. Okay, now who is a DevOps engineer? So DevOps engineer is somebody who the problem for a DevOps engineer is delivery, software delivery. So that being a problem, he designs the pipelines, he implements those pipelines, and then he delivers that pipelines and he verifies that pipelines, right? If it is a DevOps developer, then DevOps developer is a subset of DevOps engineer. So most of the coding related to this DevOps is all done by the DevOps developer. So he develops solutions for DevOps. So only the pipeline implementation phase, just like how in a typical SDLC, requirements, design, coding, testing, and delivery. Requirements is done by BA, design is done by architects, coding is done by software developers, delivery testing is done by QAs, and delivery is done by delivery managers. In DevOps engineer, a DevOps engineer sees the overall stuff, right from software delivery, designing the pipeline and implementing the pipeline. But if there is any coding involved in this process, DevOps developer does it. So typically a DevOps developer does coding the build scripts, coding deployment scripts, writing pipeline as a code, writing infrastructure as a code, these things. So most of the coding will be done by DevOps developer when it comes to DevOps. But DevOps engineer may or may not be able to do the coding.
Okay, sir.
Next.
I have a question. I came across this question in Confluence interview calls. So the question is, do you want to be super tech or a C person? I didn't understand the question as well.
Do you want to be super
tech or a C person?
C person.
Yeah.
Okay. Super tech or C person. So see, in a career, there are two paths. One is a technical path and another is a leadership path or a managerial path, right? Technical path is, for example, you are what is your role? DevOps or Azure?
Azure Cloud.
Azure. So let's say for you, the technical path is Azure Cloud Engineer,
okay.
Senior Azure Cloud Engineer, Azure Cloud Architect, Azure Cloud Engineering lead. Okay, and senior architect. That is the technical path.
Okay.
What is the managerial path? Azure Cloud Engineer. Okay, senior Azure Cloud Engineer, Azure Cloud Lead, and Azure Cloud Manager, and Infrastructure Manager. Okay, Director of Infrastructure. This is the managerial path. Okay. So C-level means whether you wanted to tech level means the technical path. C-level means the CEO, COO, CFO, CIO, those roles. So you wanted to become a leader and a manager, or you wanted to become a technical geek is what their question.
Yeah. Okay.
So what should be the answer?
Super tech.
Yeah, you should always answer super tech, because since everybody's role is an individual contributor role, you
Yeah.
should not say I want to become a C-level person. Then they will think that you cannot code, you don't want to code, or you do not want to do individual contributor roles, and it will be a deal breaker.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one more question. As we are from Azure, do you need AWS knowledge also? Few
Not
fundamentals about
if you
Azure.
know it, it is going to add a lot of value, but need not.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Sir, for roles and responsibilities for what we told, sir, Azure Cloud Administrator.
There is a huge roles and responsibilities that you can get in Google.
Yeah, I searched in
Standard.
Google. This one is correct. Managing and deploying Azure solutions.
Yeah.
Maintaining Azure profiles and subscriptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point in my resume which says installed and configured Kubernetes, Chef workstation.
Share your screen.
Okay, just a minute. Can you see my resume, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this point, like the Chef workstation. I have not gone through this yet. And also, I don't think there is anything mentioned here as well. So what do you want to?
Installed and configured Kubernetes, Chef server and workstation, and nodes via CLI tools, and wrote Docker files to create new images based on working environments for testing purposes before deployment. So what you are saying is you have installed and configured Kubernetes via CLI.
Yes.
And you have installed Chef server and workstation via CLI. And have installed nodes via CLI. That is what this statement means. And you're also saying that you wrote the Docker files for all the new images, depending on which environment those infrastructure components will be used. Okay. So you're saying Chef is not mentioned in the skill matrix?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chef, it was intentional because Chef is not quite popular. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, even if they ask you anything about Chef, then you have to say that you just deployed it, but you don't know what exactly happens inside a Chef server or a Chef workstation. It is more of a tool similar to Ansible.
Okay. Yeah, but Ansible is push configuration. I guess for Chef, you need to have client installed on both the sites.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So that's it
Chef
from my
is
side.
outdated right now, so nobody is. And we can either prefer to delete that point, or delete that Chef server and workstation part. There is also
because
one typo in your resume. Go up.
So there are a lot of typos in my resume, sir.
So MongoDB.
Yeah, MongoDB. Yeah, here I saw that.
Yeah. So if there are any typos, immediately highlight them and send it to your lead. You
Okay.
should not live with the typos.
I had a lot of typos here and here, so I have given spacing and stuff.
Yeah,
And
whatever are
this,
the typos you observed, you highlight them in yellow.
okay. And the font or size something is different, sir. Or our color is of this font is different.
This is Calibri. What is the point above? Calibri 12.
But the color of this point was different actually.
Okay,
See, the color
Yeah,
is gray and this.
it has to be black.
Okay. Okay, sir. Then the rest of these points I'm preparing. Like I have a complete
So
Word
who is
document.
undergoing marketing here? You can stop sharing. Who is undergoing marketing? Okay, then. So I assume I was expecting more questions in this mock interview. Number one. Number two, I was expecting more questions from the resume, because not everybody will be able to understand each and every point in the resume. Probably because not many people are getting into marketing. Hopefully next week we will see many of the questions, right?
Sir, I just wanted to make a request. Like I'm seeing the trend of applying for the jobs just for Ontario province by the marketing team. If they can do for the Vancouver also, because I'm already in Vancouver, like it would help me.
You want BC or Vancouver only?
Yeah, BC would be fine. Like anywhere in BC, like that would be like really good. I'm ready for other provinces also, but if they can apply for BC also, like it would be good for me.
So the problem is 70% of the jobs are in, I think we discussed on the day one also.
Yes, sir. But like on the daily basis, I'm getting like 7 to 10 notifications for the companies in Vancouver itself, like on
I'll
LinkedIn.
tell them to apply for BC jobs at a first level. If there are no BC jobs available, then Ontario jobs.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then. So we'll meet again next week, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.